Hello and welcome to my month of August wrapped. So let's just get straight into it. In August, it was a bit of a hard health month for me. My autoimmune conditions did flare up and it's reached the point where I am going to have to do my little healing protocol this weekend because I am not able to function. The pain and symptoms of my conditions are just interfering with my life too much, so I'm going to have to do something about it. So hopefully after this weekend I'll be feeling better and more like myself. But I tried to still get out and about this month and I did manage to do that. I had a few really lovely days where I did go out and make the most of it, and the weather is just getting better and better, so I'm looking forward to more adventures. That is just going to be the thing for me for the rest of the year. Try to get out in the world as much as possible. I also stumbled across the subreddit Just Gals Being Chicks. Highly recommend. It's a great time. Give it a look-see if you're someone who likes to go on Reddit. Now let's talk about shows. I have watched a lot of things and read a lot of things because I was bed rotting for most of this month. So we'll start with the Umbrella Academy season 4. I did not like it. I ended up skipping through. Sorry, Bluebell's being so cute right now. Stop showing me your belly. It's too tempting. It is. I just want to swoosh it. I love you. Oh. I didn't enjoy it. I thought they went in a very weird direction. There was a romance in there that I don't think anybody asked for. Someone did mention that I look a lot like this character. And I can kind of see it. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I feel a bit meh about it. It kind of went as it went on. I still love Klaus. I love that actor. I will watch anything he's in. He's fabulous. Onto the films, which there are a lot of. First, I watched Longlegs with Leo at the cinema. It was fine. I went there for Nicolas Cage. I love Nicolas Cage, even when he's extra, which is pretty much all the time. And he was the best part of that film. But yeah, horror movies just, they're not my jam. But it was lovely to watch in terms of the cinematography and the music and, like I said, Nicolas Cage. Then I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, which was a freaking blast. It was just so entertaining. I laughed my ass off. I thought the cinematography was fantastic. The fight scene choreography was amazing. The choice of songs was on point. The humor was great. Good casting, good storyline for a superhero movie. Well, grey superheroes. But yeah, I really enjoyed it and thought it was worth my money. Then I watched Beverly Hills Cop 4. Look, Beverly Hills Cop 3 is my all-time favorite Beverly Hills Cop. It's peak Axel and Serge. This was okay, but they focused a lot on the daddy-daughter relationship, with Axel being supposedly a deadbeat dad. I didn't want that. I didn't want that. Let's just keep it light, comical, and action-packed, hey? It was fine. You know, it passed the time. And then I watched Hitman. I loved seeing all the different characters of the Hitman. They were fantastic. The rest of the movie sucked. I didn't really buy the romance either. I wasn't feeling the chemistry. But yeah, I loved Glenn's portrayal of different hitmen. That was fantastic. Then I watched all of the Maze Runner films with V, who just got into it. She's getting into her dystopian era, so probably Divergent will be up next because she's also finished Hunger Games. Yeah, I forgot how heavy zombie it is. I don't like zombie movies. I don't like them. They freak me out. They unsettle me. And the characters make really dumb choices, and one of the characters dies that was my favorite character, not the girl. You know, if you know who I'm talking about, and that always peeved me off. And watching it, even though I knew he wasn't going to make it, seeing it again really grinded my gears. Then I watched the new Garfield movie it was okay. It wasn't great, but otherwise Garfield movies as a whole don't really do much for me. So this one, same thing. It was fine. And the last film that I watched in the month of August was The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I generally like Guy Ritchie. Is this him at his best? No. I love Henry Cavill. Is he utilized a lot in this movie? No. But of course, I'm still going to watch it. I was a bit frustrated though at the ending when you find out, I'm sorry, that's my thyroid, when you find out that this was based on real life characters and you find out there was a romance between two of these characters. And it wasn't portrayed in the film. I would have liked to have seen that. I wish that they had shown those characters interacting a little bit more, because I think it would have made the film a bit more enjoyable with that hint of the romance eggs. I felt like those two characters were portrayed by very sexy actors. Mind seeing them flirt a little bit, but they didn't do that. It was fine. Once again, it's nothing amazing, but it was still entertaining and I enjoyed watching it, but it felt a bit more of the same old, same old. But those were all of the things that I did watch this month. There's so many things that I do want to watch next month. I'm already excited for a lot of things, so hopefully they deliver. And then we have my book readings. So as usual, I do have a whole channel dedicated to the books I read, because that is my biggest hobby and what I do the most of. So in the month of August, I read a total of 66 books, but I did DNF 16 of them. So I read 50 books in full. Out of those 50 books, 2 were audiobooks. I read around 14,500 pages, which is about 484 pages a day. I'm not going to keep track of my page count anymore. I don't really care. It was a lot to sit there and add up the pages for each book, because obviously I can't include the DNF'd ones. The main genres for me were lit fic, fantasy, LGBTQIA, sci-fi, and horror, but I read from every single genre except for biography. I think that's one I almost never read from. If I had to pick one book that was my favorite of the month, it would be Open Throat, which was about a mountain lion in LA and their sort of musings on human beings and their little life story. I loved it. It was very different and unique. It's a short, fast read, and I just really enjoyed my time with it. My favorite cover, I should go and get it because I actually own the goddamn thing. My favorite book cover was The Collection by Nina Leger. So as you can see, it's got gold foiling on the title. It's a rose petal finish and it's got mushrooms and it's got pink flaps on the inside. Favorite cover. This is a book about penises. One woman's obsession with the male appendage. I did not enjoy this book at all. There was just too much. It was too much of a sausage fest for me. But the cover, beautiful, gorgeous. Am I going to keep the book? No. I don't keep books just because they're beautiful. The only books that I keep in my house are 5-star reads, because they have to earn their place. They have to pay the rent, so to speak. So I will be giving this away when I do a book giveaway for my birthday on my book channel. But this was the best cover of the book. Music, I found a few songs this month that I like. So one of them is Hard to Love by Lily Is That You. I do tend to always try to find at least one new like dance song so that I can bop around a little bit. I do like to get my groove on. Obviously, it was Brat Summer in America, and my favorite song was Guess by Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish. It's a sexy little dance beat. It's a bit dirty and bassy and grungy, but it's silly as well. It's all about knickers. I love knickers, so and I love ladies. I enjoyed the song. So that was very, very catchy. And I would say do yourself a favor and watch the music clip for Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. She's got Jenna Ortega in it, but Sabrina does gorgeously cinematic, very sort of old Hollywood style videos, and I loved this particular one. The song Taste is about a woman whose ex is now with another woman, and they kind of shared him at one point, and it's about, you know, well, you're going to taste me when you kiss him, and there's a bit of a sapphic vibe going on with Jenna and Sabrina in the film. I love the fashion, love the shots, love the concept. Check it out, you'll enjoy it. In terms of my favorite cafe that I visited this month, it was Her, which I went to with my best friend Kate after my date bailed on me. Loved that place. The food was fantastic, the vibes gorgeous, the aesthetic is stunning. We just had a fantastic time. So that is definitely one of my top tier places to eat for either lunch or dinner, and would 100% go back. I do want to give a little shout out though to the son-in-law bows. These were just so cute and delicious. My coconut and pandan custard sweet bun was chef's kiss. So I do want to go back there. The novelty of it is also adorbs. Everything else that I did, you've seen on my Melbourne blog, so I don't want to rehash them. But like I said, we did go out. I did manage to go out and about a little bit this month and see some new things. I think going forward, I'll be going out more and showing you more around Melbourne, because yeah, the warmer it gets, the sunnier it gets, the better my health and the more energy I have to explore. Now onto my purchases. So everything that you've seen. In regards to decks though, I did purchase a lot this month. So this was a low buy year for me. I did have an idea of around 12 decks in mind, including these purchases. I'm up to 8 new decks that I've purchased this year. So I'm doing pretty well sticking with that. But the majority of the ones I purchased were in this month. So I backed a few on Kickstarter. I'll start with those. So I backed Cardamom Dreams. There were a few cute ones like this, but I thought, Chanel, just pick one. You don't need multiples. So I did give this one a shot. It could be hit or miss. Sometimes I love this style, sometimes I just don't connect to it. We'll see. The Phyllis Oracle, I couldn't help myself. It's a cute cat deck. It's a very cute cat deck. If you're Australian and you went to buy and you saw that they weren't shipping to Australia, they are now. I did email the creator and ask if they could include Australia as a shipping country so I could get it. So to those who thought you couldn't get it because you're in Oz, you can now. Do I need another cat deck? No. But it's so goddamn adorable, and I think I will really appreciate the serotonin. And it's one of those decks too that I can also share with my kids. So I like it if I have a deck that is usable by everybody. I also backed Killig. So I used to have You Are Here, and I did love that deck. It is out of print now, and I couldn't grab it. I missed out with this one. She quickly bundled it in the beginning. There was only a few copies, and I wasn't fast enough to get one of the bundles, but I wouldn't mind having that one again. I remember I did rehome it back then because it had a very strong scent, like a very sort of plasticky, burny kind of smell, and I couldn't stand it. And that was pretty much the reason. Every time I took it out, I became nauseous. So I did rehome that, but I was like, maybe if she's reprinting it with different cardstock, it won't be an issue, but I missed out. I will keep my eye out on that in the future, but I did love that one. So I thought, all right, I can't get that, I'll get this. So it's very poppy, pastel-y, cutesy. I don't know if I'll love it. This is another one that's a bit of a gamble, but I wanted to give it a go. Now for the non-Kickstarter deck, I pre-ordered Find Your Magic Tarot. So this is a mass market deck. Should I have just waited until it's released? Yes, because I have been burned with pre-ordering in the past. Obviously the site I used to use, Booktopia, has gone down, so I did have to go through Amazon, which I don't also like doing. I think really though, going forward, I'm not going to pre-order any more mass market decks. I will just wait until they're out. It's just that I will forget. That's why I do it. I think you're going to forget, and unless someone else buys it and puts it on their channel, you won't remember. And that's why I tend to pre-order, because I thought, oh, you like it, you want it, so I'm going to get it. Hopefully I do get the discount, but like sometimes it's not worth it, because like I said, I've pre-ordered and then people that just have bought it when it's been released get it before me. It doesn't make sense. But those were the 4 decks that I did purchase for this month. I also went thrifting this month. Like I said, I think going forward, I might do that more and buy less decks. And obviously this year was a year of buying books. I don't normally buy any books, maybe like 2 a year, but I was supporting independent bookstores this year for my reading vlog. So I bought a ton of books, and that's such an expensive hobby. I don't know how people only buy books. Like, my God, the library has saved me tons of money, but yeah, next year I won't be purchasing books really. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I spend my hobby money on? Thrifting clothes, because yeah, I'm just really into cute fits at the moment. So one of the dresses I bought was that blue lacy one. I'll put a picture up here. So I love that. It's a bit raunchy, but I think it's super cute. Okay, I've turned you around, so hopefully you can see, but I've got this little number. Maybe I need to go back. So this little slinky number, it's just satin. Oh, I hope it's satin. Oh, and it looks like it's stained. God damn. The low lighting in some of these thrift stores, I think, is for a reason. Please don't say silk. Yeah, it's polyester. But it does have a bit of a stain on it. Hopefully I can wash that and get that out. But I thought, great for summer. But yeah, hopefully I can get that stain out. God damn, I need to be more careful. But this is by the brand Asta. And like I said, I thought, oh, this will be great for summer, slinky and cool. I've gone for the yellow again. I don't know, I'm just feeling yellow at the moment. So this is by Reformation, which is one of my favorite brands, but I do find with Reformation dresses in this material, what is this material? It's probably polyester as well. Viscose, that even washing on a cold setting, they shrink. So this split, which at the beginning is it's still fairly high, will end up hiking up a little bit. So I have to be careful not to flash my knickers, but I'm a sucker for floral prints, especially if they look a little bit vintage, but this is one of my choices. I also got this little number. So this is hot pink, it's mini, and it's got gold straps, and this is by the brand Nookie, which I do like. They're quite, they've got almost like a corset type feel to them, but it's in hot pink. It's in one of my favorite colors, and with the gold accents, I thought, oh, this is so summer. So I had to grab that one. Next up, we have this one. So this has a built-in bra, which reminds me a lot of Dolce & Gabbana type dresses. So it's a little mesh bra, and it's a cutout. So it's got, you know, a cutout under the bust, and then I think one on the hip. And it's like metallic. I don't know how this will go. We'll have to see. This is by the brand Monsi. Don't know it, but yeah, I thought this might be once again like fun for a night out, an earlier night out. Definitely no more late night dancing, but like a sexy dinner or a bar might be a nice option. So look, I buy a lot of dresses. I love dresses. I love not having something that cinches on my waist. I find this is fine. This is very stretchy, but anything that like buttons, I don't like that pressure on my waist because I'm also a bloater if I eat. So dresses allow me bloating room. So I got this dress by Nookie as well. It's like a faux leather. So I don't know. This could be a situation where I put it on and I am just sweating balls. I did have a latex dress in the past, but at least this is lined. So I've got to say, I have to have dresses that I can actually wear comfortably. Otherwise, no point. I don't want to be fidgeting and adjusting. It's also my daughter's 13th birthday coming up, so I wanted to get something to wear. So I got this piece. So this is a sequin dress, and it's quite long, and I was going to wear it with like a cardi. And this is by the brand, what brand is this? Cosmopolitan. So we'll see how this goes through. Once again, I'm not sure how this is going to be. Am I going to like this? Am I not going to like this? But I thought it was fun and gave it a go. And the final dress that I purchased is another one by Nookie. It's one of my favorite brands. I'd say Nookie and Reformation. Anytime I find any of their dresses, especially if they come with tags like this one did, I will buy them up. So this is a slinky white number. Once again, it's got a little bit of a cutout situation going on. It's ruched and it's stained. Oh my God. Oh well, that's fine. Or is it not fine? Oh, it's got some black stains on it. That is the thing with white dresses. How many of you have white dresses and they stay in immaculate condition? It doesn't happen for me. I love wearing white, especially in summer, but it always gets dirty. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, this is the stain I just found. Is that noticeable? Should I try and wash it and get it out? Is this a dry clean only situation? Polyester spandex, gentle hand wash in cold water. Do not soak, bleach or wring, and then dry without delay. Do not dry clean. That's my bad. Look, I'm a rookie. I'm a rookie, guys. Okay. And I hate being in shops, and I just want to get in and out as quickly as possible. And I especially don't like trying things on. So I'm going to have to be a bit more careful in the future and really look properly. But I don't even care. Like, I'm not that fussed if it's got a stain on it. I don't know. I can wear stuff with stains. Is that trashy? I'll be fine. But those were my thrifted finds for this month. And now let's take a look at the garden. We did buy a few new plants. So I'll show you what I got, and then we'll look at the decks and the crochet bags. If anyone knows what this tree is called, they do have these sort of apple-like red fruits that I don't believe are edible. But let me know what it is, because I actually don't know what this plant is called. But yeah, they do have red fruits. But let's see what else is happening in my garden. We've got the jonquils, and over there we've got some daffodils. And we had a big windstorm last night, so a lot of tree branches fell down. That's bluebell. Over here we've got a hydrangea, but I'm going to move it into the corner. I think it would be better in the corner. We've planted a little succulent here. As you can see, my jasmine is going off. It smells absolutely gorgeous. I think these are called grape mascari or grape hyacinths, something like that. They're going. We've got some freesias starting in there. Indy did a little fairy garden situation. Like I said, we had a big windstorm, so all of the fairy garden stuff has been blown about. There's Bluebell at the door. So we planted these beautiful blue guys, but I don't know how they'll go. Anything that I plant in these baskets tends to die, no matter how much I water them. So we'll see. So we've planted some more flowers in here, as you can see, just to add a pop of colour. Yes, darling. And over here we've got the fairy garden with all of the new little additions, toadstools. Got some lavender. And then we've got my wildflowers. So my next lot of wildflowers that have bloomed have come up. So they're doing really well, this area. I'm going to still plant some more wildflowers. I've ordered some more seeds because I just want it to be real meadowy, just a full meadow. So we've got space around the edges. So I'm going to be planting some more wildflowers to go in there to my little beautiful meadow area, which is going to be great for the birds and the bees and the butterflies. We've planted some stuff here. I've gotten some creeping thyme to cover the ground, and also you can eat that. And then I've got my ranunculus. I'm going to grab some more ranunculuses because I'm obsessed with ranunculus. Bluebell, she doesn't like it when I go out of the house. Over here we've got my camellia in bloom, so it is red. And then I'll just show you, I think I can see some freesias. But like I said, unfortunately, everything got battered last night. Look at these poor guys. Some purple ones, but they're just on the ground. So we'll see how it goes, but all the freesias are coming up. I think I'm going to have an abundance of bluebells, because I can see bluebells everywhere. Okay, let's take a look at the decks and crochet. So I'm going to start with the first deck. I did not make a bag for this one. I just used one of the bags I had on hand because I thought it matches fine and I couldn't be bothered making a new bag for it. So it kind of goes, This was the Shimmeltai Tarot. This was the guidebook, very simple, just a few keywords for upright and reversed. Now I'm not going to show it with the pairing because I actually paired it with one of the other decks I got in this month. So I'm just going to show this one solo, but these are the backs. The backs are fine. They don't really do much for me. I edged mine in pinks and grays to sort of match the backs. Now let me talk about this deck. So the cardstock is a satin and it's fine, but it's nothing amazing. You know, it's kind of like a mass market cardstock. So this was on Etsy and I've been looking at it for ages because I liked the color scheme. I wanted something in my collection that had these sort of muted tones to it and that was very mild. And I looked at it because I thought, oh, is this an AI? But I was looking at the hands and I thought, no, the hands are all fine. So it's probably not AI because there is no information about this deck. There's no walkthrough. It's a very generic listing. However, after getting it in, I do think this might be AI art. I have a strong feeling, even though, like I said, the hands are fine. I just have a feeling it's AI, which you know that I don't love. If the whole deck is made using AI, I don't mind if it's a multi-artist deck and there are some AI cards sprinkled in there. That's a bit different. But this one, I have the feeling it is. I do like it. So obviously the guidebook is just basic, but I do like the color scheme because it has versatility. I knew that this would be one of those decks which would go with a lot of my oracles. And that is why I purchased it. It's a main reason. And it does. It goes with a lot of decks. So I'm not upset about purchasing it. I do not think it's worth the price tag though. It does have an indie price tag and I think that's a bit much considering the quality of the deck. Like I said, the cardstock is nice, but it's not indie deck cardstock and the guidebook isn't an indie deck guidebook. And I do have the feeling this is an AI deck because I then looked, someone mentioned, I think it was Ethany, and she said, I think it might be AI based on the other decks that this company has made. So I went and looked at their other decks and I was like, oh yeah, they totally look AI. So, and this did come in the ugliest box, the most generic branded box. It has nothing to do with the tarot. And this tarot has no name. It has no name. So yeah, I'm just calling it the Shimmy because I don't want to say Schimmeltai. So, and that's the name of the company, not the tarot deck. So I am just going with Shimmy. It does read well for me, so it is a good reader. And like I said, immediately it went with a bunch of my decks. So this is one of those decks when I just want to match something aesthetically or energetically with an oracle, and it fits that purpose. I will keep an eye out in the future for a deck that has this kind of similar color scheme going on, maybe one that I like more. This did shit me a bit. I don't like one of. I like Ace rather than one. But otherwise, yeah, I like it. It's got a very folk tale kind of quality. Like I said, it's got a beautiful muted color palette, neutral pinks and sort of greens, browns and blues. It's very cute. I think most of the images do suit the meanings. And yeah, I did use it immediately with another deck that came in and it went fantastic with it. So I will be keeping this in my collection. I wasn't sure at first, which is why I just popped it in another bag. But I feel like the bag goes with the colors in the deck. So it's just going to stay in this bag, even though the bag is a bit big for this particular deck. But yeah, it grew on me. At first I was a bit disappointed, but then I thought, no, actually it's got usability. And that's like the most important thing for me is, am I actually going to pull this deck out and use it? And because of, yeah, its versatility and workability with other decks, because it's got a very palatable color scheme and aesthetic, it's staying in my collection. So this was the Shimmy Tarot. Okay, so next up, we've got this. I love this bag. I think it came out beautifully. This is Dream Smoosh Cashmere. So this is a cashmere blend. It's in the color Enchanted, and I did this in a Trinity stitch and did a beautiful purple button to go with it. So this doesn't match the deck, but as you may already know, I am trying to go through all of my yarn stash before buying new yarns. So I am just trying to make do with what I've got, and this was the closest I could get. But obviously if I could buy one, I would buy one in a blue and purple. So this is for the Evidence-Based Magic Oracle. I think in this month I was saying tarot in my walkthroughs for a lot of oracle decks. Guys, I'm really sorry. It's the brain fog. So just ignore all the times I said blah, blah, blah tarot instead of oracle. This was a Kickstarter deck by Eva Gamayun. So this is the guidebook. It is a rose petal finish. It's full color glossy. It's gorgeous. It's very simple. So you've got the title of the art piece, the medium, the sort of key phrasing, which I think is the most helpful in terms of what the meaning of the card is, and then a little meaning. I think it works absolutely fine in terms of this. This was enough for me to use and work off of. These are the backs. I fucking love them. Pardon my French. I think they're gorgeous. They're reversible. They've got the gold foiling on them. It's a beautiful matte cardstock, and it's got the gold edging with a holographic. The only complaint I have about this deck is the size. It is massive, so I do struggle to shuffle it. I'm going to show you what I paired it with first. And the deck I paired it with has the same cardstock. So if you have this deck, then you know what the cardstock is. This is the Flower Medicine Oracle. And like I said, they both feel the same. I would have loved this. See how this is slightly smaller? That would have just made it all the bit more manageable. But I would have loved this, yeah, even shorter and less wide, so I could have a nicer shuffling experience. The cards shuffle beautifully. It's just I have small hands, guys. So here we've got Bittersweet with Nobility. I just thought the colors in these two decks complemented each other so beautifully. And I wanted something a bit more abstract because this is so full on. So this deck does have keywords down the bottom. Sometimes you can't see them, but I don't really care about that because I'm going to go to the guidebook anyway. Obviously, you could just go off the vibes. What does that card feel like to you? But I am obsessed with this deck. This was a purchase based purely on the art. I thought to myself, I don't even care if this works as an oracle. All I care about is the artwork because it is so bloody stunning. Are these all upside down? As I was saying, if I could draw like anyone, it would be this lady. I absolutely love the art style. It is fantastic, and I'm absolutely obsessed. As soon as I got it in my hands, I was in love. I thought, oh my god, each little one of these is a piece of art. I completely and totally vibe with it. I love it. I think the titles too are really cool and interesting. This does work as an oracle for me. So yay for that. On top of the beauty of it, it has functionality. I love these two together because, like I said, this has a bit more of an obscure, abstract kind of meaning. This one helped center it a bit and make it a bit more, what's the word? Accessible, I guess, rather than just going off the titles and the meanings of this one. It brought together the messages beautifully. But every single day, I absolutely looked forward to reading with this deck. And I forgot to mention in the walkthrough, some of the cards have gold foiling on the front. So this is the Kintsugi card, which I think is, oh my God, it is so stunning. I would love to have one of these pictures framed in my house. I love it. It's got a very sci-fi tech space kind of energy to it. There's a term for it to do with like techie space stuff. Oh my God, I don't know what the term is. But I love it. It's got such a very cool energy. You know, it's like a cool girl deck, but also very arty, very rebellious. I feel like all of these characters, I love this card because it's called Blue Valentine, and there's a black cat, which looks like Nova. And obviously my daughter's name is Valentine, and I'm obsessed. As I was saying, I feel like, here, I'll turn this one around. A lot of these illustrations could be the cover of a fantasy sci-fi book. This would be an excellent deck, I think, to use for creative writing. I could absolutely imagine picking a card and being like, okay, Sleeping Sands, and this is the image, and write a story about this. And maybe if I ever feel like going back to my creative writing ways, because I did used to write, I would do that. But even just like, oh, I would love one of these as my phone cover case. Like, here's another holographic one. And this one's called Traun. This one's called Traum, but I would love that as a phone case. Stunning. This one's It's Jellyfishing Outside Tonight. I was so interested to read what each of them meant. Like, I could see that this wouldn't be a usable deck for everybody, but no, I'm just in love. Like I said, it didn't even have to work. I would have kept it regardless because, oh my God, here we go. This one is Neon Midas. How cool is that? Just, I'm a sucker for really interesting titles. Here's another foiled one. The Serpent, she's so fucking badass. This one reminds me, it could be Eve. I like to think of it as Lilith. Lilith was a bit more badass. And what's this one called? Genesis. Just seriously, that is the cover of a sci-fi. So I think this artist could definitely get like tons of work if they wanted to illustrate book covers. But fucking gorgeous. And I love the bit, it's a bit eerie. There's a bit of a horror element in her imagery, which I also like, you know, kind of spookiness and off-kilterness. But yeah, every single day, I was so excited to see what card I was going to pull. Oh my God, like, look, Lunacy, horror novel cover. I want to know who that is. Like, tell me their story, please. But yeah, I think out of all the decks that I got in this month, this was hands down my favorite. It speaks to me. It's in my language. I would buy anything this artist makes immediately. I don't care what the fuck it is. Here's my money. I will throw my money at this person because yeah, I'm obsessed. So this was my favorite deck of this month. Okay, so next up we've got this little bag here, which you might think, oh, that looks similar to the Rosebud Tarot. It is, because this is one of the yarns I used for the Rosebud Tarot, but I also put blue and yellow one through there. So this is the bag. This is in the 24 mile hollow in A Skirt Is Not an Invitation, and I did it in moss stitch. And I'll show you what I've got in here. It's the Viator Somniorum deck. So I didn't know this is a previous deck. I saw it on Rose Honey Rituals channel. She pulled it out and it's called the Alcaringa. And I'm like, that is the exact deck that I just got in. So they've just rebranded, I guess, renamed it, but it is the same deck, and it's the Aneromancy deck. So it's a deck that's based on dream work. But yeah, I'm like, how funny. I wonder why they changed the name. I don't know. So this is the guidebook. It's good quality. It's in numbered order. So you've got upright and reversed meaning. You've got sample readings in the back. And that is the guidebook. So these are the backs. That's why I went with this deck, because it's got the pink and the sort of blue-green. They are reversible. I think they're fine. They're nice. It's got the silver holographic edging, which is lovely. It's on a beautiful glossy linen cardstock, and I'll show you what I paired it with. So I paired it with the Modern Nirvana Oracle. So these are the backs of that. I've edged mine in that salmon pink. So this was actually the triple deck pairing where I also paired it with the Shimmy Tarot. So I did all three together and they look stunning. But these two, gorgeous together in terms of the energy and the aesthetic. I think that they were fantastic and I was obsessed with the readings. So I know that this deck is meant to be used as a dream tarot. Discernment in the Maze, gorgeous. But I feel like it also works as just a general oracle deck. So in terms of how, if you're using it for divination, journaling, self-reflection, whatever, it can be utilized in multiple ways, not just what it was designed for. Would I use it for dream work? Probably not. I've been doing dream work my whole life. I've always been a heavy dreamer, lucid dreamer. And I derive my own meanings from the dream. I'm pretty good at figuring out what that dream was meant to be. So I wouldn't use it for that purpose. I think it's very cool though, as a dream deck. I don't have a dream deck. So I thought, well, if I'm going to get a dream deck, I'll get this one. But I really enjoyed my time with it. I think it's a really good deck. And like I said, the meanings worked. And I loved these two decks together. They gave really cool meaning, synchronicity, reciprocity. Sometimes the images, just chef's kiss. Here we go, excitement and kindness. But look at the aesthetics. Like, I die. But because it's meant to be a dream deck too, the topics are really interesting. They're a bit out of the norm for an oracle deck. And you got to love that when there's a deck that has something a bit more outside the box than the typical oracle deck meanings. But yeah, once again, I was excited to use these together and to see how it fit with whatever my reading was about. But I die. I love that when something really goes together aesthetically. It just makes me feel like everything is right in the world. I think it's too because they've got a very similar cream background as well. But yeah, like I said, this was energetic. Look at that, missed opportunities and perception. Very energetically and aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And I loved it. I don't know why I didn't see this before. Maybe you guys can let me know down below, like how long ago did the Alcaringa come out? Was it a popular deck? I can't judge it based by Rose Honey Ritual because Meg has such an eclectic deck collection that I'm not sure if this was actually a very popular deck with the masses. It was just Meg finding some, unique little kitsch niche deck. Yes, I'm glad I backed it. This one was a bit of a punt as well. I was like, oh, I'm either going to like it or I'm not going to like it. It's either going to be usable or it's not going to be usable. But I found it, like I said, very versatile. And that really makes me happy when a deck has multiple uses and it doesn't just focus on one area, like in this case, a neuromancy. I can use it for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, this is kind of like, I feel like a bonded pair to me. I think that they've got a connection, they've got a kinship. And once again, it is giving cool kids vibes, both of these decks. And they've got like an abstract, they've got a bit of a, what's the term? What would you call this? I know this is meant to be vintage Vogue kind of aesthetic, but I really like them together. It made me happy to pull them out. So once again, a really fantastic deck. And just because I was obsessed over the other one, this one was also fantastic. And no regrets in purchasing. Because as you know, with Kickstarter, you've got to be really selective these days. And the last deck that came in this month was the Soul Creatures Oracle and Affirmation deck, 48 cards by Nawan Junahasidi. It's by Scribalist, so good box. I don't love the grey bottom though. I just feel like it's a very standard. There's nothing on the inside. I don't know why I did that kind of colouring. So let's take a look at the guidebook. So this is the guidebook. It's lovely quality. It's black and white and matte. And you've got the write-up. You've got the picture of the card and affirmation about the mythology it's based on, and then the kind of oracle card meaning that you would apply. One thing that does shit me, I'm sorry, is that the cards are not in alphabetical order. They are not numbered either. And then in the index is also not in alphabetical order. So every single time I would have to read through all of these to try and find the page number. And that's very annoying. Either have the cards in alphabetical order or have them with a number and then it be numerical. I don't get that. There's also a lot of spelling mistakes in here that I noticed. So that doesn't bother me, spelling mistakes, especially now that I've written up a guidebook and I've probably got a ton in there. You just don't see them after a while. But if there are people that don't like spelling mistakes, this might annoy you. But I think the guidebook is absolutely fine. We've got the special card here. These are the backs. I don't love them. It's a bit of a watercolor vibe. They're okay. They're not edged. The cardstock, at the first I said that was a bit mass market. I think that's a bit mean. It's not mass market, but I still don't love it. It's definitely matte. It's not super bendable. I don't know. I don't think you could, because I can already see a bend to that. Riffle, I think it would wreck the cards. I'll show you what I paired it with. So I paired, oh, it's too big. Let me take some cards out of there. I paired this with the Journey Tarot because this is based on mythology, so I wanted a bit more of a storytelling-like deck, and I thought that they would go well together. So I do like that it's got the affirmation on the front of the cards, so if you don't want to go into the guidebook, you could just use this as an affirmation deck, which is also what it says it is. I knew when I backed this deck that there was a high chance I wasn't going to like it because, like, look, the illustration style, it's lovely, but it doesn't do a lot for me. And the guidebook write-ups, like I said, they're absolutely fine. They're good, but they're not amazing. So I knew I wasn't going there for the guidebook. It was more about the theme. So I thought, oh, it'd be cool to have a mythological creature deck. I thought that would be really fun. The reason it doesn't have a bag is because I am unsure about it. I don't know. It's just a sort of personal connection thing. I haven't really felt connected to it. I think it is lovely. I think for the theme, they've done well in terms of how they've written up the meaning to go with the animal that's depicted there. And it's great that you do get a bit of the mythology as well. So you can learn, okay, what is the jackalope from and what is it before you just get your oracle meaning. But yeah, I think because I'm not in love with the art style and I didn't find the write-ups astounding, like really gut punchy or resonating, I don't know if I'm going to keep this in my collection long term. I think this might be a deck that once I've used it for a bit, I feel like, okay, our time's done now. Because like I said, it's just not my style. I think these two worked really well together. And it made this one more enjoyable to pair it with this. Because look, I do absolutely love the Journey Tarot. I know I was a bit ambivalent about it at first, but then it absolutely grew on me. So like I said, I did love them together. But yeah, I'm not sure this one has long-term stability in my collection. I will be keeping it for the meantime because it is brand new. And like I said, I'm interested in learning about all of these different mythological creatures that I don't know what they are. So that's been fun. I am using this more as just like a study deck for that purpose, just learning about mythological creatures rather than using it for any sort of divination or journaling or self-reflection. And I do like the affirmation. I think you can always just use an affirmation for the day. So that's also a bit fun. But I'm not using it for any particular work, so to speak. It is a bit more of a fun novelty deck for me. But yes, we'll see how it goes in the long term. Like I said, look, they've got very similar faces. Like I said, these worked well together. And we'll see how I feel about it down the road. But like I said, for now, I'm enjoying learning about some of these different creatures and just doing a single card pull for the day. But I think I need to listen to my instinct a bit more when it comes to the Kickstarter decks. Like if I'm a bit really unsure, I'm not buying the deck because I think it's stunning, like in the evidence, like the evidence-based magic. This was just for the art. Then maybe I should probably wait until I see someone else's walkthrough before purchasing, because this was just really all about the creatures in it, not really anything else about it. And I am trying to save that money. But yeah, these were all the decks that I got in. So they're all staying in my collection for now anyway. But otherwise, that is everything for the month of August. Why don't we finish off with a 1-card pull? So, message for the month of September coming up. We've got Kitsune, which says, I am clever. I use my wit and intelligence to achieve my goals. In Japanese folklore, Kitsune are typically portrayed as foxes, although they may have multiple tails. The number of tails is said to indicate their age, wisdom, and power, with older and more powerful Kitsune having more tails, sometimes up to 9. They can shapeshift into human forms, often appearing as beautiful women. They are known for their intelligence and their shapeshifting ability. With the sharp mind and cleverness of the Kitsune, use your intelligence and resourcefulness to overcome any situations in front of you. Trust in your ability to think on your feet and adapt to any situation. I think this also could be a great deck for creative writing or creative art purposes, now that I've also thought of that. But this was everything for the month of August. Until next time, stay wild, Star Child.